Wow, my life looks radically different than those around me. Wow, the way I feel inside feels radically different than what I'm perceiving in the world around me. Good. You are on a unique path. You are a fire starter. And I think that we all are, that we all have these amazing gifts that we're bringing to this human world to be birthed through us. Hi, beautiful beings. How are you? How are you? My name is Brittany, and today I want to share about something that feels really alive and powerful for me. And I'll share what that is right away. As always, inspired by my life. If you have something that you feel so true and real and so strongly within you that the world, others, society, the external doesn't understand or doesn't seem to feel the way that you feel it inside of you, as this truth, as this knowing, this aliveness, this passion, that's okay. And that makes sense. And that is likely because what is so strongly within you has not yet been birthed into the world externally, or maybe has not yet come into your experience of what you've seen externally in the world. And I feel like we are all here to bring these strong passions through us. And I've been living that. And I feel like for me, being able to offer to you some sort of a camaraderie and reassurance that it's okay if you don't feel completely understood. It's okay if you feel like not seen or validated or honored, or maybe even you feel rejected, or you feel like somebody pieced out of your life, or you feel like you don't fit in. These are all, for me, these have all been signs that I am on my path. I'm weird. This type of relationship doesn't resonate with someone else. This style of living doesn't resonate with someone else. Wow, my life looks radically different than those around me. Wow, the way I feel inside feels radically different than what I'm perceiving in the world around me. Good. You are on a unique path. You are a fire starter. And I think that we all are. That we all have these amazing gifts that we're bringing to this human world to be birthed through us. And I think everybody has it. And it looks completely different for everyone, and that is perfect. Because we are unique and we're uniquely inspired, and that's what we're here for. And we're here for the birth of diversity in this world. And the more we allow for all of that, the more I feel the connectedness between everything. This is always birthed through inspired through my life, what I share here. And you may know some of these things about me, you may not. I live a very non-traditional life, an authentic life for me, and that part of that is that it's always changing, and I'm always getting an opportunity to reconnect with myself. We get those a million times a day. Something comes up, how do I feel about that? That doesn't give us data on how the situation is or what is like if it's right, if it's wrong, if it's good, it's bad. No, what we get data on is how does that feel for me right now in this moment? So I'm getting that data just like everybody else all day long. And sometimes I have gone periods of my life where I get that data and I'm kind of numb to it. I'm kind of like, yep, I'm doing this thing. I've committed to this thing. And then there'll be a big awakening where it's like the things around me shatter and there's no place to turn and look. There's nobody else to turn and look to guide me. So I'm reconnected with my inner guidance. And then I have to think and feel for myself and feel like, wait, what feels good for me? What feels right and resonant for me? And I'm totally at one of those times in my life right now. If you've been following the channel, either of the channels that Connor and I have, and if you haven't, you can just Google or put into YouTube Connor and Brittany. You'll see just so many changes in our relationship recently. And I have found that throughout all this, and it's just been maybe the hardest transformation of my life, one of the biggest ones at least, the hardest, the most challenging, the most growth promoting, the most beautiful, it has connected me even more deeply with love, and love for all beings, love for myself, love for Connor, love for Ilya, love for Bridget, love for everyone, and a truth within me, which it's not so important for me to share that here, but I will because I can, and it's not so important how you feel about it. Actually, it's super important how you feel about it for you, because that lets you know where that lies for you along the path that you're on right now and what you're wanting to do. And the power of me sharing it with you is that I feel like I get to show up for me and say something real and take another step into birthing it into the world. So for me, the way this has been showing up, not just now, but in general in my life, is that I feel like my heart, there's no either or. My heart is yes and yes and yes and yes. And I love, the more I tap into love, the more I realize I love so deeply and fully and vastly, and I love loving all beings, and I love taking the opportunity to check in with myself if I'm not feeling loving towards a being. And so I've been in a 6+ year relationship with Connor, an open relationship, an undefined relationship, and we have a child together now. And while I was pregnant, I met Bridget, and I loved her right away, and I love everyone right away, really. And we had a real connection. We have a real connection. And so that became a part of my life, that connection with Bridget. It flowed into my experience, like my connection with Connor, like my connection with Ilya, like my connection with you here. It's just another thing that was really resonating in my life. Not just another thing, a beautiful thing of its own that resonates in my life. And it's been a hell yes for me, just like all these other areas of life are a hell yes for me. And we've gone through so many renditions of all coexisting, and right now that has looked like Connor not living here. We've all been living together and he's not living here, and it's just interesting to feel like so many times since I've met Bridget, the world, or the feeling I've gotten is being presented with this thing, which is like this or this. Like, well, you can't love this being and this being. You can't live with this being and this being. You can't like have partnership with this being and this being. And I think that's all my perception of like pushback against this thing that I feel, which is like, yes, I can. And I know I can because I do. And I know it because it's deep within my heart. And not just this. It's not just this. This is just the beginning. And my whole relationship, my whole experience with open relationships has just been the beginning, where it's like, yes, I do love all beings. I am attracted to more than one being at a time. Yes, I do want to have dynamic relationships. And yes, I do want to all coexist beautifully, harmoniously together. And yes, I do want to all be a family. And yes, I want to all be tribe. And yes, I want to create community. And yes, I want more for everyone. anything that they want. I feel like there's no end to the abundance I am available to support in people's lives and in my life. And this is how it's showing up right now. And I say yes. And any offerings or suggestions I get from the world that come in any way from my perception to be smaller, or to say, actually, no, I can't do that. That doesn't work. I don't know how to do that. Instead, I am saying, yes, okay, maybe this moment I'm not sure how to do that. And also, yes, I'm here for this, and I'm here for more. So world, here I am. There's more that I know is coming through me. There's more that's being birthed through me. And here I am for it. And I'm here for this love. And I trust this. I trust this, and I trust co-creating with the universe. Even though I have no idea what it's going to look like, and I've never seen anything like it before. It's the same thing that I've experienced so many other times in my life, just on what feels like a smaller scale. This is a big scale. This is like people, and relationships and family and just all the intricate things, and wow, so I'm here for it. A little stuffy because Connor and I just had a really big, beautiful talk, and I cried a lot, and I loved it. And then I wanted to make this video and share what was alive, to say to you, yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. And whatever you're feeling, yes. And you can experience that. And you already are. And by believing in it, and by allowing it to really exist within you, to be inspired into action outside of you, and to keep knowing it and not needing others to understand or feel it, for it to be real for you, for it to really come through you, it's perfect. And I'm here loving you in whatever that thing is that you feel is real and passionate and right for you and right for the world to come through you. Heck yeah, that's what we're here for. So if it's weird, if it's different, if people don't understand it, people haven't seen it, people are afraid of what's unknown. If you're afraid of what's unknown, yeah, I get that. Let's do this together. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate you so much in this space. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you soon.